Buenas noches, señores y señoritas. Good evening, all. Joseski here, the Wing Bro, and in this live this evening, I'm going to regale you with stories and learnings, lessons, and takeaways from my 2 years of daytime cold approach. So, what 2 years of daytime approach taught me. That's the title of this live. If you are a man in your 30s, you're a professional guy, 30s or 40s, you are highly intelligent, you are highly accomplished, but you do not feel you're able to deliver this currently into your personal life. You feel that you're settling for second best in your relationships with the girls. The women you're meeting are not of the caliber you want, and you're meeting them in suboptimal conditions. Get on a call with me. Let's see if we can get you into a little bit of the old daytime cold approach. It changed my life at 37 years old, and I'm going to go into all of the details right now in this live. So let's get going here. Let's get going. So I've written the whole thing out so I can be nice and precise for you. So just to give you a brief backstory on my own history of relationships and history of approach, and I don't even want to call it approach, just call it conversations and interactions. So I did my first approach ever to a woman that I can remember in a direct way when I was 15 in a club. So in an under 18s club in Sheffield. And it was actually fairly similar to a daytime approach in the sense we just kind of spammed the club, and you'd get many no's, and then eventually you'd get some yeses, and then you'd eventually get a really hot girl who said yes. In my case, that became my girlfriend. So my first girlfriend was when I was 15, and that was from a cold approach. I snogged her that very same night, and it turned into a great relationship. So I already had that positive reference point coming in. That was obviously nighttime. And then through my early 20s, I transferred over, shall we say, to social circle and clubs. Very occasionally, I would find myself interacting with people in the street, perhaps between bars and things like this when I was with my friends. And I always enjoyed the freedom of doing that. We just come up with absolute random crap. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I traveled at a young age as well. I remember traveling out to Spain, traveling out to Cuba when I was 20. That was a great trip. Got me out of my comfort zone. Cuba was the first time I saw someone do a full-on daytime approach. I was 20 years old, and I saw a guy. I was on a tour with a guy. A guy stopped a girl, chatted her up, and got her number. And I felt almost emasculated by that. I was 20. This guy's probably about 40. The girl was around my age. And I thought, wow, that's impressive. I can't do that. Wow, they have the nerve to do that. Wow, that's a thing. So I think that actually emboldened me a little bit. Later on in that trip, I cold approached a woman who was a singer in a band in Santiago after she'd done her singing set. I went over, chatted her up, got her number, and I went on a date with her as well. She was in her 30s. That was a really cool experience for me. So that was my early 20s, a little bit haphazard. But I got a picture early on that, hey, the world's a big place. I can travel around. I can meet women in different places. And, I also just knew women are open to being approached. Women like talking, And so you don't need to be Mr. There was no concept of looks maxing and stuff like that in those days. You just did what you did, So, yeah, and then going through my 20s, I had some major health problems in my mid-20s. I was really a workaholic, I would say, from probably about 14 to about 26. People don't know actually the level, when I say that, I'll go maybe into this in a different life. People don't really know what that means. If I actually tell you what I was doing, what my schedule was like, it's inhuman. It's not even human. Even the places, like some of the places I was at, they were like, dude, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing. And so, yeah, at some point my health gave out at 26, and I had major health problems for 2 years. Really, really bad, actually serious health problems. Had to have a major operation, 3.5 hour surgery. And I felt like I was looking down the barrel of a gun at this point. What if that had been it? What if that was it? Um, and I kind of thought to myself, if I get out of this, if and when, it's going to be a long road to recovery, I need to actually start living, at least begin living my life on my own terms, not always to be Mr. Perfect, this perfect superhuman that I've been trying to be, over performance, which is, yeah, I know where, now I'm older, I know where that tendency comes from. It's a dangerous tendency over performance because you get praised for it by everyone, but it destroys you inside. In my case, it possibly literally destroyed me inside as well. So yeah, I had this big wake up call in my mid 20s, and this is why I feel that I relate so well to guys in their 30s and 40s who are coming to similar conclusions that I came to around 10 years previous. They come to a conclusion that, they've worked their balls off to get to a certain stage, or you know, they've done the things they were supposed to do in life, and yet they feel that it's almost like there's something missing. Are they actually getting to grips with enjoying life? Do they have the relationship? Do they have the friendships? So I indexed on relationships and friendships and women very self-consciously from about 27 and a half. And that's when I started to do damage. Really, it was the first year was just learning the ropes. I was going out every single day, doing nighttime approach relentlessly every single day. I had a wolf pack with me. Started to get some results there. And I won't go into all of those, but there's lots of escapades and just loads. And then by age 28, I was dating, I felt, two of the best girls in my city. I really did. Yeah, there's a bit of a flex there, but they were both fucking supreme. So yeah, that was, should we say, a peak moment. I remember being outside a club with my main wing, a Colombian guy, and his girlfriend was like, it's like, used to call her Helen of Troy. She had this perfect body. We're up in Sheffield, like there aren't girls like this. She was from Athens. My girl's this mixed race stripper. My mistress is this Iraqi fucking babe, and I was just like, we just think we're the kings basically of the city. And I said to him, we're gonna have to go. Where the fuck are we gonna have to go to do better than we're doing now? It's a crazy feeling, and that was at 28. So I kind of felt like I'd made, should we say, the progress up to that point. Had the girlfriend for a couple of years, was essentially going to get engaged to her. She kind of went off the boil a little bit. I won't go into details there. It was also partly myself as well. I didn't know how to manage her. Didn't know how to manage the relationship. She was not a bad girl at all. I still, in retrospect, I still had some issues. I thought I'd made it, but I hadn't. And I still haven't now. But I'm much further along, especially in terms of relationships. And so yeah, so that's part of my story up to about 28, 30, and then early 30s, I went back to the UK to start my own business. Started my business there. I remember working a shift in Primark, Christmas shift in Primark, which is when you've like got the academic background that I've got, and you have been a highly sought after teacher and person working in education in Monaco, which is the richest principality in the world, to go back and work in Primark Sheffield. I think people thought I was like having some kind of a breakdown or something, but I just knew to start my own business, I'd have to do some bullshit, right? So I had to eat shit. But I started my online, yeah, just my new online business, and that's what I've been running for the last 10 years. And eventually it started to get some traction. It took off. I was able to leave Primark, but during the time I was based in Sheffield, I was not satisfied with my social life, so I started my own club promotion, and that was really cool as well. That was really cool. I'm really glad I've done that. It's funny because on this channel, I've done way more impressive things than that in my life. Vastly more impressive. That's not even in the top 20. But it's funny because that's the thing people think is cool. You had a club promotion. It's really no big deal. but socially it was cool. It was really cool. So I saw a lot of the back end of like the nightlife scene as well. That guys with again like my sort of it's quite a preppy life really. That you don't get into that scene, but I saw it in depth, and it was interesting because I was still kind of clean cut. I was in it, and I had like my girlfriend and stuff. We'd go to the after parties and stuff, and it'd be all the drugs and fucking orgies, weird shit going on. But I was in it, but I was out of it. It's an interesting position to be in. So I did that for 4 years, and then started to travel with my remote business. And during the pandemic, I started to get on Tinder during the pandemic. I won't go through some of the escapades from that were not on. I remember there was the waitress in Portugal was probably my favorite ever story with a girl. The elevator, engine room in Portugal. She's my absolute goat. That bitch took me to school. Like, no, I was 35, thought I was experienced. Nope, you're a virgin. That was honestly how I felt. That girl took me to fucking school. I've never seen a human like that. I've never seen a woman like that. It was this chick was insane. It was insane. It's as if you got a hyena and you injected it with Viagra. That was the kind of thing that I was dealing with, right? With this girl in an engine room, in fucking an elevator engine room at the top of this building in Lisbon. It was fucking ridiculous. So that was pandemic. Anyway, I just don't want to get distracted off that. But yeah, I started to go on Tinder, and during that period, ended up out in Dominican Republic, out there, meeting girls mostly online, but then didn't really enjoy that, and so yeah, decided to get off that and started to do a little bit of daytime approach. Could see it was something that was a real thing because I saw local guys doing it. I had a friend who was a rock musician who was doing it in a very informal, unstructured way, and the way I came to it was just doing a bit with them. I remember my first ever approach was a two-set, woman and her mum. The woman was also on the phone as well. I didn't know any of these things about how that's hard set. I didn't know, whatever. I just got this girl's number, and I've never done coke, never really done any drugs, but I felt something insane in my body like that. I've never felt anything like that. It was insane, that feeling. It was insane. I was quite tense before. I shouted her across the road as well. What a weird set that was. But so that was my first number close, and then eventually, about a year later, I came to train with a professional because I was out in Eastern Europe, in the Balkans. I realized, man, I don't have it. I can do it in the tropics a little bit, but I can't fucking do it out here. I was in Romania, Macedonia, couldn't do it. And so, yeah, I went to train with a professional. And so that is how I came. That was at 37. I'm now 39. You've just had a potted history of my whole personal life, more or less. And the last 2 years, I've been doing daytime cold approach. Daytime approach. And just to define what I mean by that, I'm basically talking about street approach. That's really what I'm talking about. Street and mall approach in the day. Mostly in the day, sometimes in the evening as well. It's still, if it's in the street, I still class that as daytime street approach. So yeah, good to see you all in here. I can see Paul University's in here. I can see Balthus in here. Conrad, nice to see you, mate. Giovanelli, nice to see you. Yeah. So we will continue on. So what have I learned over this last 2 years? So since my training, I have hit it regularly. There's not many weeks I've had off. I can probably think of 2 or 3 weeks I've had off here and there. Last time I had a week off was round about March, and that was when I was in Serbia. I took a couple of weeks off. The Balkans will do that to you eventually. You'll need some time off. So what have I learned? Let's go through the list here. Define street approach. So the first thing I'll say to anyone who is coming into daytime approach, if you're starting from scratch, you don't know what to expect, the first thing I will say is, as long as if you're a presentable guy, and you need to probably get some objective critiques on this, I can give you some objective critiques. But if you're presentable, everything is as on point as it can be. You've got a normal haircut, you've got, normal grooming, you go to the gym, whatever, you've got a good style. If it's all as presentable as it can be, you're going out into the streets, you will find that you can, as the very same guy, you can go out one day in one city and you can crush it. You can go do 10 approaches, get 4 numbers, and they're all live. You go to a different city on a different day, or maybe even the same city on a different day, and you get 10, no, 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 all the way through. Or maybe you get 9. Yep. Same guy. You are the same guy. Your value proposition is the same. You've got the same level of attractiveness, same conversation skills. Everything's the same. And you can go out, repeat the same process, and you can get different results on different days. You can be the same guy in country A as you are in country B, and you can get different results in country A and B. You're presenting the same value proposition to the girls, your same level of attractiveness. This is a real mindfuck. This is a real mindfuck for guys, certainly for me anyway. So, because you're thinking, because I sort of think logically, we as men, if that girl's hot here, she's going to be hot tomorrow. It's not going to differ. Yeah, I'm still going to find her hot. If that girl goes to Russia or she goes to Jamaica, wherever, the likelihood is the men are still going to find her hot. Okay, it's going to be very predictable for the girl. For us, it's more unpredictable because we're going over to the woman because they're doing the kind of, they're the ones who are responding to us. And so that's just something you've got to remember, especially if you're a beginner, but even if you're seasoned, it's a reason not to put any of your self-esteem in your approach. Do the best approaches you can, learn how to do it correctly, but your self-esteem does not change. It's completely unaffected by your approach. The girl's response is not really relevant. Some of them will respond well, some days they won't respond well, some places they'll respond well, other places they won't respond well. Yeah, and it just is what it is. And girls really do differ. They differ from girl to girl, they differ from place to place, and they even differ the same girl on different days as well. So there's a massive level of unpredictability to it. Right, so that's also a reason why it's worth testing different locations, because you're the same guy, but you go to location A or location B, you might feel better in location A, and you might get better results there. Yeah, so you try different locations, even different countries. So that would be the first thing I would say. That sounds like a trivial thing to say, like an obvious thing, but emotionally it doesn't feel like it should be like that. It actually feels like if I'm this caliber, I should get the same results everywhere, but it's just not true. It's just not true. Second big realization, it's a team sport. It is a team sport. Cold approach is an extreme sport, and it is a team sport. This is not a solo player game. You will hit a ceiling as a solo player. It is a team sport, and it's an extreme sport. So, yeah, and this is something that is actually endemic in the space. It's something we are changing, and frankly, we have changed a lot this year, is going out solo as a guy doing cold approach. Maybe if you're in your own city or in a local city, you probably feel all right because you're in your own natural environment. But I guarantee you would feel better if you're with friends, if you're with a wing who could actually do it, who could encourage you, give you some accountability, give you some positive vibes. It's so much more fun when you're with a wing. Okay, you're not drifting around on your own. And I think especially as a beginner, do your solo sessions here and there. I would say you want 3 out of 4 sessions to be with wings. Once a month, go and do an hour on your own. That would honestly be I've not done that, but I would have had a much more pleasant 2 years if I had. I'm a digital nomad, so for me it wasn't even possible. But whenever it has been possible, when I've had Balthus, for example, and Paul with me, when I've had the boys in Barca with me, whenever it has been possible, I've always gone out with wings. And when I haven't had wings, often I'll be doing virtual wingmanship as well. So you need to have people with you. It gives you that emotional support. It gives you that grounding. And this is why my service, Wingbro, is so helpful for guys who are just starting off and learning the trade. It's not just the technicality you need. It's also a little bit of feedback between sets, but it's also reassurance. Oh, those three blew out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've got someone there who affirms your value and affirms your humanity. When you have that little dip, perhaps as an early beginner, the set didn't go so well, you felt it a little bit, fuck, or the girl blanked you, you're not sure what happened. And you can have a little dip. You will get emotional dips, right? Because what we're doing, we're pushing ourselves out there. Just having a wing alongside you, it just, as I say, it affirms your humanity, it affirms your value, and you literally just laugh off what happened. You don't care at all. Okay. In the nightlife space, in the social circle space, nobody is doing approach alone. There are other people around them. Okay. You've got wings around you. I've never done approach alone ever, other than really cold approach, little bits and pieces here sometimes when I was traveling, but cold approach, daytime approach, the only time I've ever done it alone. And so while I can do it, I would strongly recommend everyone get yourself together with wings. And yeah, at the moment I have virtual wingmanship, and just to illustrate the effect of this. So tonight I went out to do just a little mini session, and normally when I'm out, I actually am out. If I'm out solo, I'm truly out solo, because I don't. The group, the entourage that I'm in, is a group of a cold approach kind of specialists slash maniacs, and we give each other a lot of support virtually. But that group is on my Brazilian phone, so when I'm out, I leave that phone in the house because it's got all my shit on it. So I don't like to take it out with me. So when I'm out normally solo, I'm just out with my disposable Dominican phone. I know, the life of an international criminal. But I'm just out with a different phone, so I don't have access to any support. And what was really interesting is tonight I thought I've been doing a lot in Serbia. The last couple of times I've been out, I've only done like one or two approaches, when basically the girl was so fit, I just felt I can't not approach that girl. But that's not really good enough. That's not really good enough. So tonight I went out. I got the head of the group, Christian. I got him to just put my other phone into the group so now I can have it in my pocket. And I actually felt better for having the group in my pocket. Yeah, the virtual wing support in my pocket. Just that knowledge that, let's say I do 5 sets, I've got someone to act as a witness to that. I can say, right, guys, I'm on a session. I'm doing some sets. And especially out here, it's not that easy. Yeah, I mean, like the reactions I got tonight were just baffling. Like, even for me, as someone, I expect it, but it's a very confusing place to approach. So, like, first approach went really well, and I could have closed her, but she was just a bit too old. When I got closer, she was like in her 40s, mid 40s, which, these hot women who are actually older, is like very common in the Balkans, especially in Serbia. But amazing conversation, like premium set, absolutely premium set. She loved it, so that's great. Move on. Next one, the girl kind of, the next on, so it's maybe 200 meters further down. The girl kind of, I didn't stop her, but I can normally bring them to a slow stop. Sometimes I like to do that. And the girl just really quietly looked at me and she was like, "What do you want?" It was a really weird reaction. And I was like, my spiel. She smiled, but she wasn't interested, so fine. And I move into town, and then the third one was absolutely bizarre. The third girl I approached absolutely loved the approach. She looked like a bit like Daenerys from Game of Thrones, like really beautiful blonde hair, bright blue eyes. It's this typical Serbian thing. She really lit up on the approach. She loved the approach. I'm starting to move through the gears in the conversation, but to be fair, maybe I didn't shift enough through the conversation, didn't bring enough into it, but there's not much banter coming back. She's got to go, and I was just kind of like, I tried to bring her for an instant date, but it didn't work. But it was just so strange how she went from being she was so thrilled with the approach, and then it was almost like something in her mind kicked in, and she was like, "No, I've got to get out of here." It was really strange, very weird. And then a couple of others, I can't remember. I can also remember they were a little bit weird as well. I can't remember. So yeah, it's a very interesting approach environment, Serbia, Belgrade. You get all sorts. It's like truly a slot machine, like it really is. And more than anywhere I've been, actually. There's just no predictability. The girls are quite kooky. Very few of them can actually flirt, bless them. They don't really know how to flirt. Some of them do a little bit, but not much. Um, but anyway, so the fact I had the group in my pocket, I think I just messaged them when I went to a cafe. That just, it's a nice thing to have. Yeah, no one wants to be if I've got to do it alone, I like having the virtual wingmanship, and that's something I provide in my service as well. I say to my guys, just message me before and after the session. Just keep me updated. I'm there alongside you in spirit every single time. So yes, it's a team sport. You need your support, guys. You need your support. Yeah, and that's also why, these in-person immersions, they are just worth their weight in gold. They really are. Honestly, gold is worth fuck all compared to what we're able to do. It's worth fuck. It's a piece of metal. It's a piece of fucking metal. It doesn't do anything, right? This dynamic, active skill to bring beautiful women, potentially the mother of your child, into your life in the way a true romantic hero, a balls-maxed guy, would do. For me, that's worth 1,000 times more than a piece of fucking metal. Whoever told us that gold was worth something, this is the real fucking shit. So, yeah, in-person stuff is worth its weight in platinum. Fluctuations are normal. Don't worry about that. So fluctuations through your sessions. So you might, like my session today started off brilliant. Next approach, pretty bad. Next approach, just really brilliant, but then very weird. These fluctuations are normal. Granted, Serbia is more extreme, but in general, fluctuations are normal. And that's something you've got to just learn to weather. It can be difficult though. I will say this is the part of the game that my brain, it's not even, I understand it intellectually, but my brain literally in the moment can struggle. So for example, let's say that I'm on a session and I get 3 or 4, let's say, negative responses consistently. Yes, Jazz Martin. Let's say I get 3 or 4 negative responses that are like, sometimes you'll get a response which is disgust, but the disgust is not actually aimed at you. It's actually because the girl finds it disgusting that a guy's approaching her in the street. Sometimes that happens. It's happened a little bit in Serbia. It's not common. Happens a little bit in Bosnia as well. It's no reflection on me or any of the guys. It could be that a girl's been spammed by other approaches, or it could just be it's really outside their cultural remit. Or also they lack social skills as well, social skills and social graces. A lot of the girls, frankly, in the Balkans, I'm sorry, they just do. So you might get 3 or 4 reactions like that, and then the 5th reaction is really positive. And actually, for me, my brain fucking struggles to adjust to the 5th positive one. I'm like, whoa, I'm in here, and that can actually be a shock to the system. So these fluctuations, it definitely it's a real balancing act. Yeah, for example, like Manchester, I never really get a truly bad response. Not like here. The responses I get are always somewhere between either not interested or pretty interested and quite excited to be approached. That would be about 80%, 70-80%. Very, very rare that I get the type of responses I get out here. So when you're in these tougher environments, your brain can go down a certain track where you're like, man, okay, let's just keep going. And then all of a sudden you got this excitement in front of you, and then you've got to adjust to that. But it can also be similar the other way as well. If you get in like a run of success, and then you get hit by a few negative ones, it's like, well, what's going on here? Do you not know who I am? Have you not seen the last 3 approaches I did? You not see that girl, that Miss Universe I approached? You not see her? It's be water, yeah. I love it, mate. Yeah. So these fluctuations, they are normal, but just full disclosure on my end, there's times where my brain doesn't adjust that well to it. But I think Belgrade is so fucking extreme. These Spurgs have got the weirdest reactions. It's like it's hard to keep. it's hard to keep yourself on an even keel. And I was thinking about, there was a girl I didn't close when I was with Paul University the other day. I was like, I really racked my brains afterwards why I didn't close her. And I think I can't remember what reason I came up with, but I think the actual reason was, I think I probably had a couple of days of just like not great reactions or something like that. And my brain had got out of closing mode. So it's just interesting. Yeah, how your brain adjusts to things. So fluctuations are completely normal, but just remember you're always the same guy. And if you've got success somewhere, first of all, even if you don't get success in cold approach, women do not define your value as a man. Okay, they just fucking don't. Okay, so that's that's something just from the beginning. Yeah, there's many things that define your value as a man. I would say God defines my value as a man, to be honest with you. I was the fastest sperm. I won the fucking race. So that's good enough for me. But that said, just within the context of approach and succeeding and stuff, you can do well in one place, you can do not so well in one place, you can do well one day, not so well the next day. These fluctuations are normal. These fluctuations are completely normal. Everybody, yeah, getting out of your closing mode can make the girls close you. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that almost happened the other day. That almost happened. It's happened to me before, actually. Yeah, it's happened. I think it happened actually with one pretty good close where I probably had a couple, two, three where I was like, I didn't close, and then I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever. I'm going for this. I've got to go for this approach and have a choice. And then she closed me. So it's interesting. Yeah. At least we're putting ourselves out there. And it is so true that the rep is the reward. All you've got to do once you've got the skills, you know what you're doing. You just got to you just do the rep. Just do it. Just do the rep. You always learn something. Next up, take the fun pill. Take the fun pill, my brothers. The fun pill. Yeah, this is the opposite to the when I say the rep, it's not a rep through gritted teeth. Okay, we've got to have fun with this. We've got to get into that fun mode. So the more fun you can bring into your approaches, the better. The more fun you're having, the better. And that's actually why there are some days where there's a couple of days when I went out with, for example, with Balthus and Ephraim. There was just 1 or 2 days where my mind was on some work stuff, work that I hadn't done. I wasn't quite happy with my day, but I just went out for to meet the guys and stuff for a food and drink. And we started to approach, and I would run in for some approaches anyway, and my mind just wasn't there at all. I didn't want to be there because I wasn't really in a fun mode. And then conversely, when I am in that mode, you can't resist the force field that I'm shooting. You can't be resisted. So yeah, take the fun pill, bring the fun into the approach. This is not the fucking gym, yeah? If we're not doing cleans and jerks and bench press, we're just going over and talking to some girls. That's all we're doing. It's not serious, man. They're not serious creatures. They're not to be taken seriously at all. Yeah, so just have fun with them. They're little kittens. So yeah. Sometimes there's even times where it's a weird one with approach because you've got to balance. It's a shock for the girl to get approached. So you're balancing not intimidating her with, which can mean you're slightly more agreeable than you would be. And if this, for example, I had a student who came out who was really going in high energy, high testosterone, high aggression, and it didn't go well at all. It went really, really badly. And you think everything you know about manhood and stuff, oh, that's the way you should do it. You should go out, beat a man and all of this. It doesn't work because too intimidating for the girl within the first 30 seconds. So it's you're balancing that, which is you just like a little kitten, you're just getting in there to begin with, some finesse, with later down the line, you might actually want to show the teeth a little bit more or bully the girl a little bit. Depends. These Serbian girls, I find sometimes you need to bully them a little bit. But it's a tricky line with daytime approach, I will say. If the girls are sort of there's so many girls, I'm going to come on to this later, there's so many girls that I know I could have closed in a different setting. And I just know it. It's not, and I'll explain why later. So yeah, there's a more fine line to run with approach, but especially here, it's just much more unforgiving. getting out of your clothes with me yet. But in general, take the fun pill. Training. What have I put there? Training. Yeah. So training. Yeah. So this is it. Training and leveraging other places. So I'll come on to this perhaps now. The best way to use cold approach, in my opinion, is use it for, well, the way I've advocated students use it and the way I've found it's helped me is use it for increasing social confidence, increasing your ability to go after what you want, increasing your sense of masculine pride, getting rid of any kind of sexual shame you have, getting rid of weird hang-ups. Yeah. By the way, those come in all sorts of weird fucking shapes and sizes. There's a weird hang-up I've got. Listen to this one. I've noticed if there's like an old woman around, right, or like a woman in her 40s or 50s, right, and I'm going after some young hottie, like some school mom type woman. If there's a woman right there, it somehow fucks with my brain a little bit, and that fucks with me way more than if there's a group of guys. How weird is that? How weird is that? So there's a bystander who's right there. She's next to, it happened to me today. She's right next to this girl, and I'm like, I want to go after this girl, and then suddenly I stopped. I was like, my brain, and I'm like, I don't know what memory is triggered there. Is it like the school mom or something? How fucking weird was that? But if it's a group of guys, I genuinely don't have a problem going in next to her. I've done all sorts of crazy approaches. It's just really strange. So that was a solo one. If I had a wing, I'd probably done it anyway. But like really something stopped me in my tracks in that approach. So you have these weird hang-ups. I thought about it afterwards. I'll probably think about it again tomorrow. But the purpose of cold approach is to get through these hang-ups, to learn about them, but also just general self-development. It's okay, like I fucked up that set. I still did 5 really good sets tonight overall, so I'm happy with myself. That's my job, is to go out and do the sets. Yeah, there's some that got away. Fine. I fucking bottled one set because I got some weird, probably image from fucking being 13 or something, getting in trouble or something. I can't remember what. I have no idea where that comes from, but it's happened a few times. So it's all training and it's all positive, and I do get results in the streets. And guys, we do get results in the streets who do this. We get often quite good results in the streets. But where you are most leveraged with this skill is not in the streets. Where you're most leveraged, you're leveraged to an insane level, is where you're using this social confidence, this social dominance that you're coming in with, that you've learned from the streets, where you're now using it in a different social context, in your social circle, your local social circle, maybe in some networking circle, or wherever it is. Like I find, like, because I'm a nomad, I'm going into different countries on a basically almost monthly basis, and I was already quite competent, like making new friends in new places. I won't go into the details of that in this video, but I was already quite competent with that. Definitely daytime approach has for sure taken that to a higher level, for sure. And we've got a guy in the entourage, Richie, who is now using all of his daytime approach stuff, and he's now basically in this new city that he's moved to. He's networking around, he's getting up into the upper echelons of the kind of nightlife scene, and he's going and he's just completely taking it over, absolutely taking it over, completely dominating it. And all of that is just from, he's done a year of battering daytime cold approach. He's been one of the most active guys in the group. Yeah, and so now he's leveraging himself in a different arena. All of those skills, they're 10x more leveraged. This is what guys also need to understand. You're 10x more leveraged in a social circle than you are in the street. Yeah, you're way, way, way more leveraged for an average guy, or like even a decent guy. You're so much more leveraged in a social setting. So don't waste, or don't just only focus in on the streets. Focus in on the social stuff as well. And build up your social circle as well. Build your social life. Create a kingdom for yourself. I used to have one on the club scene. That was my kingdom for 4 years. And then even before that, the previous time out with my wolf pack, we had 2 or 3 years where we were the princes. the young princes. So create a kingdom for yourself wherever you can. Yeah, a lot of us are nomads now. So this is something I've got a sort of conundrum at the moment because I'm a kind of nomad. Maybe this is one reason that that nomad life will be probably slightly changing. But what I will say as well is because I've been to so many places now that I've got like a almost like a route that I can do every year. You know, Dominican, Brazil, Balkans, and I can now start to leverage social circle as well. And the great thing about that is it's not just about the girls. Like the girls for sure will come. If you can pick up girls in daytime approach, if you then start to become a bit of a bigwig on a local social scene, you will fucking destroy everyone. You'll be the absolute king, or you should be. Yeah. So there's times I wish like there's times I think about social gatherings and stuff like that where I missed opportunities in the past because I absorbed the social energy of the setting. I think now I would just be more direct in going for what I want. There's a couple of parties I think about like it was just a weird vibe in the party. I didn't go for a girl because I felt like somehow I allowed myself to feel other people would disapprove or something. I don't know what I felt, but I think now, having done all these fucking approaches in the street, in those settings, I'll be fine. It's weird because the club is still my most comfortable place, but still, um, yeah, leverage other places. And this is what I'll say. The reason for that is this. So let's say my approach is today. Let's say Daenerys, the blonde girl today, blonde hair, blue eyes, gorgeous, loved the approach. Then something else kicked in, and after about a minute or so, she kind of was like, "Oh, I've got to go," and it was a really strange. First of all, the reaction that was so positive, it took me off guard because the previous interaction was a negative, so it took me off guard a little bit. It was so good. Okay, wow, shit, I've got this fish on the hook here. Let's keep it going. And then within a minute, she just kind of like something kicked in, and then she bounced. Possibly could have been something that I said, but I pretty much just ran a normal set. There was nothing crazy that I did in that set. It was a fairly standard set, usually kind of works. So that girl I took from not knowing me at all. She didn't know me. She'd never seen me before. And let's say so I'm at a 0 in terms of, let's say a 1 is I'm kissing her, she's in my bed, we're having sex. That's like a 1. And at 0 is she doesn't know who I am. And maybe like a 0.5 is she's just given me her number and she's really interested. And then maybe a 0.6 or 7 is when we're on a date. She's gone from a 0 to like a 0.3 there, which is really good. She's gone from nothing to a really 0.3. Who knows? She might have got wet. I don't know. Who knows? But she's gone from 0 to something. She's gone from 0. In fact, let's call the 0 to 1. Let's call 1 giving me her number and setting up a date, because I think it's a bit much, talking about shagging a girl on the open. That's a bit much. Let's say a 1 is giving me the number, setting up the date. She's gone from a 0 to like a 0.6, which is like, oh, this guy's fucking great. I love this interaction. That is a really positive result. However, what I get at the end of that is still exactly the same as if I hadn't approached her at all. It's binary. I either get a number and set up the date, or I don't. And in this case, I didn't. So that is where, for example, if that girl's in a social setting, that for sure, that interaction for sure would have led into, I would have social proof, so she'd know who I am. Oh, this guy's got these friends. Okay, she would have social proof for me. That is a very real thing. Anyone who thinks social proof isn't real, we all know it's real. We know it's real from advertising. It's the realest thing ever. Yeah. When I discovered this, I felt like a complete retard because I would almost try to go to places where nobody knew me. How stupid is that? But yeah, social proof is huge. So I might have gone. Let's say this set this evening. If I'd met her in a party or even in a bar where I was with a couple of friends and she was with her group of friends, and it was a vetted bar, there would be a very, very good chance I would close that girl, maybe even pull her that very night. Very, very good chance. I'm absolutely certain. I'm confident. I'm confident. So this is the thing with the streets is um, for there's a lot of interactions that go really well, and in another context, for sure would end up in numbers and probably pulls, to be honest. Um, so yeah, it's just something to bear in mind, particularly out here, like in Serbia, because it can get disheartening where you have these great interactions, but you're still getting it. Ultimately, you're getting a zero. You're like, man, if this was another place, I'd have got the number. We'd be setting up a date, but it's just not happening. And I think it's a great learning curve because I think there's also girls in the UK, girls in America, girls everywhere. Some very, very premium girls. They're just, for some guys, you might have done very well in your set, and it's just, or not, it's not you've done well. You did the set, the girl's interested, but it's not enough to get her over the line. Whereas if you were socially proved in a different context, using all of this confidence that you got from the streets, you'd have been like in. It would be a cinch. It'd be a piece of piss. So don't forget your social circle, guys. Work on this. This is something I'm going to talk about more and more this year. It's not a cop out. It's not saying that cold approach doesn't work. It does. But these girls who are, they're not quite all the way up into the green light. They're kind of in this amber light zone. It's like, yeah, you're an amber, bruv. Amber's great. It's not red. It's really good. You've gone from nothing to something pretty good. To get you into that green light zone, just having context would be good. And me and Ephraim, Paul University, we literally were told this by two girls that we met at Starbucks. One of the girls said, we were talking about social norms in Serbia, and one of the girls said, I said, oh, do people compliment you much? And she said, Serbia is a highly contextual society, meaning people want to know who the fuck you are, who you're with, where you're from, what's going on, why do you want to speak to me? Highly contextual society. It's not a free-for-all at all. Who knows why that is? But it was interesting to get that observation. And here it's obvious, but as I say, I think in other places that's also the case as well. Like if you go to like, I don't know, like the upper echelons of like, I'm talking the absolute upper echelons. Yeah, I remember going to like this place in New York. It was like this. Forget how we went for brunch somewhere. And it was like $100 to go, whatever. It was like really high level, like really high level. It might have even been more than $100. And you see the people all there, all the women and stuff. These like heiress type good women, and you might cold approach them in the street and succeed, maybe. Maybe if you're jazzed, you might manage to pull it off. Yeah, my friend Sinner to Winner, he is a model and a professional actor, so he's very built for this. But another great guy might come in, and it just might not have quite that charisma to get them there in the street. But if you put them in a social circle, social context, with all these skills, for sure they'll be able to get a goal. So Charlie, yeah, I'll just answer your question here. So Charlie, I offer currently a 3-day in-person daytime approach workshop. So I get you out into the streets and we get you doing cold approach. I give you the complete rundown on how to run the interaction, from stopping the girl to complimenting to extending the conversation to closing the girl. Each section, to be honest, has quite a few sticking points, which I figured out with my group. We've kind of basically got a very clean method for this. So I take you through that for 3 days, push you into approaches, give you camaraderie, give you support, and that's my 3-day program. So if you're interested in learning more about that, sign up. There's in the description, there should be a link, canley.com/wingbro. canley.com/wingbro. Get on a call anyway, mate. Just book a call with me in the next few days, and we'll talk about where you are and what we might be able to do with you. I'm also offering some online support to people as well. But the program most likely you're going to want to do is the 3-day immersion. You do need an immersion if you want to get good at this, to be honest. So yeah, but in any case, get on a call. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, difficult sign for us to who has a long meeting. She might have good options. Sure, exactly. She might have good options. I do think guys though who are going out doing cold approach, man, we're pretty fucking well put together. But yeah, sure, there's going to be some girls who it might not even be good. It's like if I've got a Jeep Wrangler, so I don't want a fucking Ferrari. I like the Jeep Wrangler. The Ferrari's faster, it's more expensive. I don't care. This Jeep is my car. It's it's only one parking space in Belgrade, so it isn't a promiscuous society. It's just not. Obviously, it all goes on, but it's not a promiscuous society. They might think they are. They think they're a bit raunchy and stuff. That's because they don't know what the rest of the world is like. So, yeah. Obviously, it all goes on, but basically, it's not promiscuous, really. I think it's very kind of. How many do I do in a day? Depends on the day. So this evening I did 5. These aren't really that useful questions, to be honest, mate. Today I did 5. If I'm, it's not how much you approach, bro. It's how much you close that's important, really, and the quality of the approaches. So I never go more than a week without an approach, and a session for me would be about 10 approaches, unless you go on an instant date. Belgrade's been quite good. I've been on most times I go out. I'll always get in good interactions, and a lot of times I've probably been on 10 instant dates in the last 6 weeks, just instant dates. And this is quite a hard city as well. But yeah, I don't go down this autist spurg thing of like I need to do 15 approaches and I need to like log every single one. That's not really the way to do it. It's not really the way to do it. But if I can, I'll approach a lot, bro. Yeah, I mean I'm coaching, so a lot of the approaches I do are actually for research as well. Yeah, are you approaching at the moment? What's your experience level? Just be interested to know. Those sound like quite newbie questions, to be honest. I'm not being dismissive, but they sound like someone who doesn't really do it, to be honest. Next up here with daytime approach. Yeah, daytime approach can be a tantalizing thing. It can be a very tantalizing thing. So most guys get this. I know Balthus Day Game does. Okay, I'll just address these questions. Hold on. Do you think making daily approach is a good idea to build consistency? If you're an investment banker, no. If you're a surgeon, no. If you have a lot of stuff to do, money, and lifestyle are more important than doing a cold approach, right? So if you don't have very much time, you can't be doing sessions every day. I'm kind of I don't have much time. I've got a little bit more time than usual. So at the moment I can do evening sessions where today I did 5, other days I go on instant dates. So I can do some evening sessions. It's mostly Saturdays and Sundays. If I'm pushing it, I'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. Do an evening session Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, 1 to 3 can be good as a beginner. Yeah, 1 to 3 can be good as a beginner. I would advocate doing at least one big session a week though. The main thing is to do the big session. The big session where you do like 5 approaches. That's the main thing to do. And I'd say more towards 10 is good. But yeah, 1 to 3. If it's a daily thing, I'd honestly say probably just 1. Honestly. Like, depends how busy you are though, man. Promiscuity will be contextual. Serbians at home is very low, but abroad is way higher. Seen it myself when travelled. Yeah. So this is a good point as well. Most countries are like that. Like English girls will just slot themselves around like so much when they're overseas, and they won't necessarily do that when they're at home. I mean, they might do a little bit, but nowhere near to the same extent they do when they're overseas. So yeah, um, yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, the Serbs, whatever. They're a weird bunch of people. Let's be real. Um, yeah. I've thought about this a lot. I could never marry one of these girls. Or even, yeah, it's a good territory, but I think the reason it's a good territory at the moment is mostly because Western Europe has become so cocked. You know, if you look around Belgrade as a city, it's not even as nice as Manchester as a city. Like, not even close. Like, if you look closely at the architecture, and so the East at the moment is in its ascendancy. But part of the reason for that is because the West has fucking descended so much. So guys, we need to sort ourselves out. Yeah, so the thing I wanted to say here was that approach can be tantalizing. I know that Balthus definitely finds this. I know that Ephraim does as well. Guys, where we go out and we do hit it, there's always the approach that got away, or you're always one approach away from getting that real girl that you wanted, or you did interact with the real premium fucking 10, and it went well, but you didn't close her. There's always something, and it can be a very tantalizing game. Can be a very tantalizing game. Um, yeah. Christian said that's addiction. Christian said that's addiction. I can see that, but I actually also think it's just the fact that by its nature, because where I'm at the moment, I'll approach like lesser girls. Like tonight, the girls I approached were all lesser. None of them were a 10, and the probably best one was Daenerys. She was honestly probably about high sevens in Belgrade, to be honest. But she was definitely fit enough to approach. Body was more like an 8.5, to be fair. But anyway, so the girls I'm interested in approaching and would even consider to take out at all, it's got to be pushing, especially after so many weeks here. It's got to be basically pushing a 10. I'm basically looking for models at this point when I go out. That sounds like arrogant or a flex. It's not. If you're going out to this extent, I'm 40 years old. What the fuck do I give a shit about shagging a 7 for? I don't give a crap. It's a waste of my time. I'd rather come and do a live and speak to you boys. I'd rather do work on Wingbro or on my other business, or I'd rather hit the gym, or I'd rather talk to a girl I'm already seeing. Yeah, so there's better things I can be doing than having sex with a 7 or meeting a 7. I can't be bothered. Yeah, it's nothing to me at all. If it's an instant date, it's easy, fine, whatever. But I'm looking for the top dollar 10. Yeah, and you don't see those girls that much. Even here, you'll see probably one a day. I didn't see any today, but you probably will see one a day where they are just a cut above. And I like that really fine featured face. You don't see it that much in Belgrade, to be honest. The facial structure is quite harsh, quite masculinized for the most part. Some of it is still attractive, but that really, really fine model kind of face, you don't see that very often. Like, as I say, maybe once a day with a good body. That's really what I'm looking for. So yeah, is it an addiction, or is it just by its nature? Those types of girls, you're not going to see them every day, right? And if I see them, I will approach them because like I basically have to. I'm not letting them go by, right? I have to. I want to see where that goes. I want to see. I think part of me does want to see, have I pulled a girl like that from daytime approach? Debatable, debatable. I pulled some very fit girls from daytime approach, but I've pulled a girl who would be a working Vogue model from daytime approach. No, I've got contacts of like Miss Universe. I've definitely got a lot of models contacts. But when I was being faithful to my girlfriend while I was approaching, I didn't pursue them. So yeah, probably could have, but anyway. Um, so yeah, there's this kind of tantalizing thing where you never quite get what you want. It's weird, or it can feel that way. It can feel that way. Um, I feel like at the moment, Belgrade feels particularly like that. I feel like I'm always on the cusp and never quite getting there. Um, Other places, I actually do feel like I've got there. So yeah, but it can be a tantalizing thing. Stuff that you remember from cold approach, much like relationships themselves, a lot of the times it is the conversations. The girl's fitness, of course, you remember that, but a lot of the times it's just the conversations, the vibe, the energy. My favorite approach ever in Belgrade, the favorite girl I've ever spoken to is I still don't, I'm surprised I've not seen her again. Was this girl real? This Bosnian girl with the absolutely insane tits. Bro, she was slim, right? You don't see tits like this on a girl like who's that slim. She was slim. Her face was so beautiful. Her tits were so big. And we talked about niche. She was into fucking niche. I never have any women. I never meet any women, even women who think they're fucking smart, like professors and stuff. They're mostly fucking midwits. I was like genuinely in awe of this chick, or not in awe of, but I was genuinely like, wow, this is incredible. We would chat, we were talking until the mall closed. And me being a dumbass, I went out with this Russian influencer that, like a couple of days later, instead of calling her. I didn't realize at the time, it's like, this is Serbia, man. You need to get straight on it. You need to get after these girls. Don't fuck around trying to be Mr. Playboy, trying to keep it cool. Yeah? So I didn't realize this. And it kind of, I kind of lost this girl. I did contact her the following week, but I feel like it's kind of like, the iron was hot. Um, so the stuff you remember, yeah, I remember the huge tit Bosnian girl, and she was so beautiful. The conversation was so good. She had so much depth to her. Um, and it's things like that you remember. It's things like that you remember. And you also remember the good, bold approach that you did. Or I remember ones that, for example, Balthus just gave me the little nudge into, and I went into it, and it was like, fuck, that went well. I'm glad I did that. You know, there's the context that comes along with it as well. So yeah, the things you remember in daytime approach. Sometimes it's just the sheer beauty of the girl as well. I remember one actually I did in Barca, which was inside Starbucks. I think it was Ephraim. I think Ephraim was there, and maybe Christian was there as well. But that girl was actually really beautiful. They were fucking high school students. She was 18, but they were still in high school. I was like, fucking hell, she's incredible. All of her friends around her, it's just like the context was kind of interesting. Yeah, so many approaches like that. I remember some of them I did on camera as well now. So yeah, the stuff you remember, it's often conversations, man. Transferable skills. Yeah, I've talked about that already, really. Cold approach just gives you a lot of transferable skills. Balls maxing, going after what you want, conversation skills, technical skills, emotional management. And we're also realizing as well, it's building a brotherhood as well around this skill. Building the brotherhood. We've got the bros in here today. We've got Balthus, we've got Ephraim, we've got SB. We all support each other, and we all hold each other accountable to, moving forward and doing stuff. And also we're kind of there's the wild side as well as the pirate side. Like, I love watching some wild fucking approaches from Balthus. These guys love it when I go and do some bold approach somewhere. It's that as well. That's fun as well. The cowboy gunslinger aspect to the streets. I'll always love that. But then, as I say, that can be transferred and leveraged into other areas of your life, including your business or even your work life. And a lot of people find this, and it creeps in many surprising ways. That doesn't mean you suddenly become the uber alpha, like as if you're constantly on coke or something. That's not how it is, but subtly you will notice it creeps in other areas, and it's quite subtle, but it definitely is a real thing. Next point here: one girl, one moment justifies it all. One girl, one moment justifies it all. All those days out in the streets, all that work, all that running around, that learning, that development. One girl, one approach. It's all justified. That's all it takes. Your whole life can change in one girl, one approach, as it did for my friend Senator Winner, as it did for my friend Balthus Daygame when he approached the Namibian princess, as it has done for Ephraim when he approached. Actually, I don't know. Probably I don't know about that one, but he's definitely no. He's changed his life over the course of time, right? And there may be I don't know if there's one that changed his life so much. I know there's definitely in my case like one approach I did on one girl. Didn't even think that much of the approach. You know, she thought I was quite shy. This is early on in my approach career of daytime, and I probably was quite shy to be fair. But it doesn't matter. I had an amazing relationship with this girl, which is still ongoing as well. Who knows? I might inseminate her. We'll see. Yeah, that's that. This one approach can change your life, right? Yeah, so many connections you make, right? And it really does only take, the whole Playboy thing. It really does only take one. Yeah, if you got two great options, you're oversubscribed because realistically, you're only gonna be able to deal with one. Like you're not gonna be Andrew Tate having 6 children with 6 different women, right? Yeah, I'm a fucking European man. I'm an English man. That's not gonna happen. Well, that's not certainly not in my plans for that to happen. So yeah, one approach, one moment, it justifies it all. When I'm a romantic at heart. I live for these moments, and to some extent, the rest of your life is just kind of in the shadow and shade of that one beautiful peak experience moment, and the rest of it is just in the kind of shadow of that. It's these doors you just walk through. All of a sudden, you're in a new universe with the girl over in the DR. I just did that approach. All of a sudden, I'm getting invited to go to this party over in a different city, spending New Year with her, getting to know her. Wow, this is a great person. It's just that one approach. And I was oversubscribed as well because I was doing another approach. I was like, fuck, I've got too many to choose from. Which do I choose? It always comes down to 2 and you just got to choose one. But yeah, so it can change your life. Even out here, like the girl, the girl I kissed outside the cathedral, fuck my life. That probably justifies about the other 100 approaches I've done, which in Belgrade, which didn't really go anywhere. That one moment, it's like fuck, that was a moment, bro. I will never forget that moment. Jesus Christ, like literally spiritual experience, man. So that's what we're living for in some respects. We do our day-to-day stuff, but it's all worth it. Richie had the same experience. The first time he got with a genuine 10. All of the work, all of a sudden, wow, I can actually fucking do this. Yeah. And then you do move on, you level up, your standards level up overall. But these moments, man, they make all the difference. Context. Yeah, context. The context in which you are approaching is important. So if you're approaching in a dark alleyway, obviously, just don't do that, basically. That would be my genuine advice. If it's dark, going down an alleyway, don't do a cold approach. I was out with John Scholar the other day, and he was going to go and approach a girl, but she just rounded a corner, and it was kind of like went down a dark alleyway, and I was like, nah, mate, let's leave this one. Let's get back onto the main street. It's intimidating for the girl. So context matters. If you're approaching inside, as I say previously, like quite a high-end establishment, or you're approaching in a well-selected social group or some kind of private members club, or you're approaching, in the street, in the supermarket, the context is relevant. You should go in for approaches in, the street, in the supermarket and so on. But also, I've just found I get to like, if level 5 is like the peak of the pyramid where we're setting up the date, very often with those girls I get to like a level 3, and I'm just aware in a different context this would actually go to level 5. I know that it would, because I've done so much approach. Most, as I say, 37 years of my life I've been doing it in social context, so I know where it would go. So Charlie, let's have a look here. So mostly you approach 3 days a week, Friday says. No, so Charlie, you didn't answer my question. Forget about what I'm doing, my brother. My personal life is fine. It's your personal life that I'm interested in. So what are you doing? Um, yeah, consistency. I did put here consistency. So for me personally, I've been consistent. I have been out practically every weekend for 2 years. And certainly for the first year, I did every single weekend. I did not take a weekend off. 52 weekends in a row. It sounds easy. It's not fucking easy. I did it in three or four different countries. Try it on for size. Yeah, solo as well. Solo as well. Yeah, that was the first year, and then second year where I went from a solo practitioner learning the trade and just having my experiences to beginning to put out content and beginning to actually teach people, especially this last 6 months. Again, brutal consistency, bruv. Brutal consistency. Those daytime approach sessions in November in Bosnia, that is what made me the wing bro. I'm like, if I can do this, those genuinely pushed me to my edge of what I thought was possible. Just mentally, I had to again, it was a lot of humbling myself. I had to go down to baseline level and go, okay, I know I can't approach a hot girl right now. I can't do it. I feel this fucking city is like, it's a kind of crazy looking city, Sarajevo. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Right, well, let's go over and just talk to this old man. Right, did that. Let's go and talk to this group of girls and ask them the directions. Girls, like 20-year-olds. Okay, did that. Let's now go and speak and just pay that woman there a compliment. Okay, did that. Now let's go and approach. So I had to go back down to baseline. I had to go back down to baseline. Um, yeah. Um, and yeah, so that consistency definitely, definitely developed my approach. But bruv, I'd already done, and I mean, I'd probably done 10,000, like the amount of approach I'd already done before I did daytime approach. On my own immersion, I closed 10 girls that weekend. I got 10 phone numbers that weekend. Yeah, that which is, there's this, it's not that common, or it's, I mean, I think it's becoming more common, honestly, as the teaching is getting quite advanced now. But yeah, I got 10 numbers on my first weekend at cold approach. But it's not like I came in at 37. I'd already done shite loads of approach all over the world, all in clubs though. Um, so yeah, um, sh- going over to daytime to be consistent in the daytime across multiple territories, a dozen different countries, that takes something completely fucking different, man. Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, you're never going to be 100% consistent, but like consistency over the weeks and months. Yeah, but my own progress, yeah, a lot of that is credited for sure to the entourage with daytime approach, having people to lean on. For sure, having people I'm seeing push the pace, seeing Richie come in and be a pacemaker earlier last year, and then seeing other guys come in and be pacemakers, the young guys coming in now, these guys in the entourage, like, there's always fucking pacemakers there every time. So all I need to do is log into that, see people are doing it, great, I'll keep going. If I need to report in stuff, if I need to, I still need to query some things. I'm like running into different things here in Belgrade, like more oppositional, like friends who are just like this fucking annoying. There's a level of Balkan bitch that it's the only place I've seen it is Sheffield. It's probably the only place I've seen this level of annoying bitch is in the city that I'm from, and it's the seven. It's when you go and approach like a 9 or a 10, and a mate's the 7, and they will fucking. In some cases, they will try and sabotage you, or they'll make it fucking difficult. So that's something I've been handling this last couple of weeks, and getting good tips from Christian, getting tips from the boys in the entourage, essentially just getting me thinking and getting me motivated on how to deal with that if it comes up. Um, Ultimately, though, that scenario, if you've got a wing, you just call in the wing. Yeah, they call the wing bro. He just goes and takes the girl out. Bang. It was interesting as well, winging with my student and then my former student, realizing, bless them, these guys don't know how to wing. They don't know how to wing yet. So I'm going to do a video on that, on how to wing properly. So like Balthus and Ephraim, they really know how to wing. I've got a few wings who do as well. But that's quite an art form. And I do think I'm the best wing in the world. I'm going to put that out there. I think I'm the best. I don't think there's a better wing than me. Because it's quite an art form. So I'll do a video on that. So as the wing, you don't necessarily get the... Balthus is up there, I will say that. Balthus is very fucking good. But yeah, as a wing though, you don't always get like the girl that you in fact your role is not to get the girl. You're in support. Yeah, but then next time, or you know, when you're in, when you need the wing, then your friend should do the same for you. So yeah, but yeah, the team stuff is so important. And I think something we've discovered this summer is for sure doing 2 sets. Doing 2 sets is actually better than doing 1 set. As in, when you and your mate go in together, it's actually better than going on your own. It's so much better. It's so relaxing. It's so fun. So guys, we need to start doing this more. It's what you would do on a night out, you know. So we just need to start bringing that spirit into the daytime. Yeah, if there's more than one girl, just go in with your mate and just say in advance, I'm going for that one. And just stick to it. Yeah. And then if your mate calls it another one, then you go and help him. Right? There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls in any given city, so you don't need to fight over them. Unless it's an African girl in Belgrade, in which case you do have to fight for it. Yeah, psychological hangups. This is what I've said. Psychological hangups that you have, which come out in your approach, which come out in your interactions with women, which may even come out on closing with women. All these psychological hang-ups, you won't see them, they won't be exposed anywhere else. This is the benefit of daytime approach. This is what guys don't actually understand. Your psychological hang-ups, your limitations, your arrogance, your delusions, frankly, your maybe even you maybe have lower self-esteem than you should have. Maybe actually, you know, you really underestimate yourself. There's so many ways in which approach will teach you stuff. And I personally have found, maybe it's because society is so soft or whatever, I don't know what's going on in the world these days, but when is the last time you were emotionally, viciously uncomfortable? Really uncomfortable. And you had to just go and do something. The gym, give me a break. Yeah. When I do like, you know, when I do go to failure, probably actually maybe going to absolute failure puts me in a level of emotional uncomfort. It is actually a little bit emotional. It's very unpleasant. But as a general workout or going for a run or something, that doesn't really do it. And even then, it's not the same because that's just the kind of gritting the teeth. That's not a subtle feeling. That's just the basic feeling. Probably at work, the biggest emotional discomfort you've got is probably boredom, most likely. When is it that you've got an emotional discomfort of the level of, fucking hell, there's a lot of people around. I've got to go and approach this girl. Fuck. She's hot as well. And I want to approach her, but I also want to run away. And you're conflicted. When else do you face these things? Or when you nearly close a girl, but for some reason you bottle it. And afterwards you kick yourself. Or when you actually do finally get these victories, and it's just like the most amazing sex of all time. You're just railing this girl that you found in the street. She's on your sofa, right here, getting railed up against the wall. Yeah. There's these emotional challenges that you get in approach. You discover psychological hang-ups. I said to Krishna, my immersion, daytime approach is like, I said it's like psychotherapy on steroids, what we're doing. Because I was going at it in my immersion. I still remember, it's still one of the best weekends I've ever had. I was fucking going at it, like, hard in the streets. And I would find myself every now and then in a spot where I was afraid. Just now and then, not very often. Yeah, you have these weird hang-ups. And it's mostly fear. It's just fear. It's just undifferentiated fear. Who fucking cares where it comes from? It's just some kind of weird fear that you get. Yeah. People just make up all this crap. Oh, the girl's too rich. The girl's too tall. I'm not tall. The girl's too good looking. There's too many people watching. Blah, 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 blah. There's so many fucking things that people make up. And all it is just fear. It's okay to be afraid. I still feel afraid even now on some of the approaches I go in for, especially when I'm solo. Yeah, I still feel afraid. I still sometimes feel afraid and bottle the approach. Yeah, sometimes I'll do that 2 or 3 times in a row. Yeah, still, that's only if I'm solo, mind. And it didn't happen today when I had the group in my pocket, which makes me think when I'm solo and I've got no support, what will happen is I'll get out, I'll see one who's fit, and I'll go, nah, she wasn't fit enough. Second one, I'm like, I give myself a reason to bottle it. Usually there is some kind of a reason, but I know if I was with someone, I would have gone for it. Third one, maybe same again, and then it's like, okay, I'm on number 4. Stop fucking around, wing bro. Now let's go. Yeah. So it's like a slingshot. You get pissed off enough that you actually do approach. Yeah. And that's the reason I'm saying this. I'm admitting weakness here. It's not. I don't see it as weakness. It's just reality of how my psyche is sometimes. I'm just saying sometimes I go out and that's how it is. Eventually I get in and I do the sets. Yeah. So at least I do that. It's okay to bottle a few here and there, or even you go out, you bottle 3 in a row. But if you go and do the next 3, or you go and do 5 more, then great. So. Yeah, these emotional hang-ups, these emotional things, but it is a lot better when you got wings with you, you got friends with you. And I don't think there's anywhere else you can learn them, because we're just not emotionally uncomfortable enough to see this stuff. Like, you're so pacified with everything. You don't see where your limits are. You don't go to the edge, because everything's too fucking easy. Right, we're still going. I'm still sharing my learnings. This is a long live, but that's all right. I've still got a few more things to say on this topic. There's nowhere to hide. Yeah, there is nowhere to hide with cold approach, man. There's nowhere to hide. Yeah, you've got to be on it. You've got to be on it. Serbia's great because I find, like, energetically as well, if my energy's off, bang, it's gone. The girl's not going to stop just to be polite. Everything's got to be on point. Literally tonight, every single set that went well was pretty much perfectly on point, physically and energetically. And then the ones that didn't go so well, it was kind of like, it was a bit weak energetically, it was a bit weak, physically as well. So there's nowhere to hide. And you need this combination of humility, positivity, confidence, and skill. You need all those things. Yeah, just having confidence is not enough. You actually do need some skill. But also, you do need some humility as well. Yeah, depends where you are, but I remember my first day out, like I already had a lot of experience. My first day out ever, I did find tough. Like, it was harder than I thought. I just kept attacking like super aggressively, but it was fatiguing. It was harder than I thought. I think I got 1 or 2 closes. Yeah, 2 closes that first day, but still, it was tough. And I was experienced. A lot of guys find the first day out absolutely fucking brutal of daytime approach. Yeah. My recent client, he actually had a really good first day. Second day early on was a bit tougher for him. So it does vary, but yeah, you need to have that humility. Cold approach will humble you, man. Cold approach will fucking humble you. I'm out here teaching people. I still bottle sets. I still have sets that I don't close that I should have closed. I still have sets that go fucking sideways. It's part of the game. It is what it is. You gotta be humble. And yeah, that's the way to progress. It's a combination of humility combined with confidence, combined with positive attitude and skill. That's how you're going to progress. It's got to be all 4 of those things. Yeah, intellect. If you're an intelligent guy, good. You like my channel. because I talk about things in depth. And I think a lot of smart guys get attracted towards the cold approach space because they realize they can join the dots together. I'm over 30. I'm 5'8". Well, Tinder ain't gonna be doing shit for me, is it? Yeah, because most of the girls are they don't most of these young 23, 24-year-old girls, they'll put 30 as the limit. They don't actually know enough about life in most cases to understand they will still be attracted to like a 45-year-old guy when the right one shows up. So they just put in their preference. They don't even know their preferences. The stupidity of Tinder. These girls don't even know what they want. Yeah. So my client the other day, the girl said to him, the guy's really in shape. The girl said to him, I don't like gym guys and I don't like English guys. Yeah. He fucking pulls her, the castle. Yeah. Their brains don't know what they want. They just respond. So Tinder fucks guys on this front. And, the club scene isn't what it used to be. There's lots of guys got nomadic options now with work and so on. And they put two and two together and they join the dots and they realize, they're intelligent enough to realize, there are a lot of girls out here in the street. If I could just begin the process to connect with some of them, this could offer me some great options. You can run your whole personal life from the streets. You can do that, and you can have a really good personal life. I'm talking about like premium game where you fucking trying to max supermodels. The streets are not necessarily the best place to do that. For other reasons, you want to actually be leveraging higher level social circles. But just to get sexy girls, of course you can fucking do that in the streets. And so guys realize this, they're intelligent enough to realize this, and so they're attracted to channels like mine. They're attracted to other channels as well that cover this topic, who are actually real as well. And yeah, I've never been a person I've been around a lot of extraordinarily gifted people intellectually, extraordinarily gifted. I won't go into why in this video, but I've been around that a lot. And what you realize when you're around those kinds of people is many of them lack emotional bravery. Many of them lack physical prowess. And I've always aspired since I was a child. I remember this quote that I read about the Romans: to be a soldier and a scholar. And I thought that was the fucking coolest thing ever. That's what I wanted to be, right? To have physical prowess, to have bravery, and to be scholarly, to know things, to have a mind, to develop my mind. So this was, even as a child, I don't know how I came across that. It must have been about 12, 13. That was always my aspiration. And what you find a lot of intelligent guys is they can be lacking in emotional bravery. And so yeah, so this is something that, and it's almost through, in some cases it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. It's just because the world has not offered them enough opportunities to actually develop themselves emotionally. It's not offered enough opportunities to develop emotionally. So for me, I put a premium on this. Anytime I have a chance to develop myself emotionally, and I get to develop going into the fear, I'm totally humble on this, because I go, right, it's probably my weakest part of my profile. Fuck it, let's go. Fuck it, let's go and develop it. Yeah. Some people out there, Christian, I always respect his emotional bravery in the way he operates. I think it's maybe the strongest part of his profile. It's really impressive. Sinner to winner as well. I think he's got that as well. He seems to anyway, the way I see him operating. So developing emotional bravery, yeah, I mean, I've definitely developed it for sure. For me, yeah, sport was a good one when I was younger, because high level sport it is required, but then also now cold approach is amazing for this. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of intelligent guys will probably be lacking some emotional fortitude. Cold approach, and also just dealing with women in general, it's a great way to develop it. But you got to be humble enough to realize, okay, maybe I'm shit in this department. Just like maybe when I first go into the gym, I can't lift any fucking weights. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. You might be emotionally on the 5 kilo weights because that's all you've ever had the option to resist. And you might have to step by step get yourself up to that 100k bench press. Right? That's basically what cold approach is going to help you to do. Obviously, you need support, you need guidance, you need direction with it all. But yeah, developing emotional bravery, it's huge, man. It's huge. You know, going out into the street, I still today, like, I'll go out and just take the camera out with me, take my phone out and do videos in the street, just draw the eye, draw the attention. I don't feel comfortable when I do that. I don't feel comfortable when I go into some of my approaches. Fuck no. But I know I've just done a little set, I've done a little session. Next time I'll be a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. And over time you become more seasoned, you become stronger. This is one of the biggest things that's lacking in men. It's one of the biggest differentiators as well. When you see it, it's more impressive when you see a guy who's emotionally brave and emotionally strong. It's far more impressive than seeing a guy with big muscles. It's far more impressive than seeing a guy who's just incredibly smart. When you see someone who's emotionally brave, it commands respect. It commands respect more than anything else. And then if you can combine, you know, physicality or intellect with it as well. And that's why some of these guys who go out and speak and stuff, you know, some of the people who speak out and so on. I'm not going to go into any particular examples, but everyone can think of some people, and you go, wow, look at the emotional bravery. There's all these smart asses around. This fucker came out and he said this, this, and this, and he put himself on the fucking line. Same with cold approach, right? So cold approach it's not the highest level. Obviously, they can be expressed much higher than this, but it is something. It is most certainly something. Yeah. I know it. Like if I go over, I've done it in clubs where I'll go over, and there's a fucking club, right? And there's basically a table of essentially gangsters, basically. And I'll go over a Mac. I'm 5'8". I'll go 5'8", 5'7". I'll go over a Mac, a 5'10", 5'11" girl in front of a table of all of actual gangsters, yeah. And I'll just mack her like completely. Yeah, you can't. The guys will look at me and be like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, because it does show a level of emotional fortitude. For me in clubs, that's fairly easy now. But like, yeah, you can do it in the street as well. You can do it in the daytime, and you can take that emotional bravery. You can apply that to other areas. This is the biggest thing, man, from daytime approach. Emotional bravery. The guys in the entourage get it. Yeah, Sinner to Winner gets it. Christian Casanova gets it. Balthus Day Games got it. Yeah. Who else can I think of? Richie's got it. Yeah. Ephraim's got it. Paul University's got it. Right. Guys who get into this long term, it develops their emotional bravery. Yeah, emotional fortitude. To the point you'll do stuff that you don't even consider to be brave anymore. The other guys will be like, well, this is fucking unbelievable. That's not even anything to you anymore. You know? So yeah. But it's always a fluctuating thing. Some days you might need to be more emotionally strong just to do the same set you could have done 3 days ago on a Thursday or a Sunday. You do it and you actually needed to be a little bit more strong. So yeah, emotional bravery is a big one. Next up here, I'm going all the way on this one, boys. Relationship origin story. Yeah, this is a simple one. A cold approach is a very nice way to begin a relationship. It's a beautiful origin story. I think when you have that cosmic connection in person and then you develop it over time, like the girl I'm seeing out on the island, she doesn't realize I've probably done like another 1,000 approaches since I met her, or like an ungodly number of approaches. Like, I actually don't know how many, to be honest. Probably another 1,000 since I approached her. And I still haven't met someone. I have met very attractive girls. I've definitely met girls who are physically more attractive, but I don't like to say that because I like this girl. But you know, there's some smoke shows out there, obviously. But I have not yet met someone I had the same level of chemistry with. So it's a good thing for me to know, right? And then it's also good for her as well. It's like, yeah, she's 1,000 and 0. I'm still speaking to her. She's still the girl I'm most interested in. right? So maybe she gets to have the babies. We'll see. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's a great relationship origin story. It's a great relationship origin story. It's romantic. The girls ultimately, they don't need to know that I've done all these approaches. They don't need to know. I just show up as Mr. Romantic, and that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Other guys who, like in Europe and stuff, who approach like this, the guys that can do it just super casually is very, very rare. Genuinely rare. Yeah, that's very, very rare. Most of the guys that do it now are intelligent guys who realize we need to do this as a discipline, and that's going to set us up with some options. And it just gives you a beautiful relationship origin story. As I said, I'm actually a romantic. I love, not necessarily romantic, but like poetic, dynamic, artistic beginnings to relationships. There's so many I can remember. So many. I love the great beginning. I just love that. It's just such a good origin story. Um, yeah, so it's perfect. It'll be perfect in the future when you have children as well. Limitations. Yeah, I've already talked about this. There are some limitations with some girls in some places for daytime approach. I would be lying if I sat here and said, you can pull any girl in the world through daytime approach. You personally watching this. Yeah. Maybe there's another guy who could daytime approach her and actually could pull her. But not every guy in the day is going to be able to pull every single girl. And there will be girls out there that fucking nobody could pull because they're not interested in being approached in the day by anyone. Yeah. So there are some limitations, and even for good guys, there's going to be some times where just that same girl, you could have pulled her in a different context. I talked about this earlier, 0 to 1, one being number close, setting up the date. If you got to a 0.6, that's actually fucking good. You know who you were 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. She's already at 0.6. We get her to the 1, brilliant. Then we get to the real one, which is the bedroom. But we go from 0 to 0.6, right, on the speedometer. That's really, really good. But unfortunately, that may still mean you walk away without a number, you walk away without a close. Yeah. And in a different context, you probably could have closed them. So there are some limitations to it, but you still can massively succeed with this. Massively succeed. Yeah. It's just finding that right girl. I've tried to ask myself, is there something that characterizes a girl does she have to be more open-minded and so on and so forth? She needs to be a little bit open-minded, but I wouldn't say that's the top characteristic. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Um, yeah, but also it's also a good motivator as well. As okay, now I'm getting these girls regularly to like 0.6. Can I get them to 0.8 where they really they're almost giving me now can I get them to the 1? You can develop it. You can develop it. Um, but yeah, are there some limitations? Sure. Christian went out to, I think it was Norway, and it's like the guy's been doing cold approach for like 4 or 5 years, and he's a performing magician since childhood. He's taught all of the best guys in the entourage cold approach and supervised us through the whole thing. Yeah, and he went out, and I think he said after one or like a week or two, he's like, "Yeah, maybe I'm just not good enough at that approach." Or he said something along those lines, and I was like, "Bro, you are definitely good enough." Yeah, we sometimes need people to remind us of the abilities that we've developed. It's like, no, dude, you're definitely fucking good enough. Some places there are just limitations on what you can do. I think it was Norway that he went to. He still did well, but I think he's used to fucking smashing it, right? He still did well, but he's used to absolutely nailing it. And it's just the reality is there are some limits in some places. Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't get success. You definitely can. You have to play it in different ways in different places. But it's not just absolute statements like you can pull any girl, anytime, any place. That just isn't fucking reality. Yeah. Maybe there's some uber giga chad out there who can. Literally any, but it's not even real. It's not real. That's not real. Yeah. Um, Anything else here? Yep, and especially if you're a nomad, this skill is essential if you're a nomad, because you're going to be traveling around. You're going to want to approach. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you're just going to be window shopping. So, yeah, you need to have the skill if you're a nomad, especially. Um, the last thing I want to say here, the last thing I want to say as I begin to close down this live here shortly. Look at this. This is a beautiful little cross here. I got that from a market in Istanbul. It was, yeah, I'm so glad that I got this. Look at this little design on the back as well. There's a proper Alexander Usyk Orthodox cross. It's the exact same one that he wears. Um, the last thing I want to say is that cold approach makes relationships real. It makes women real. It makes the intersexual dynamic between you two real. Apps, and especially social media, this retard world of narcissism and putrid fucking pixelation, it's just made it all fake bullshit in a world of bullshit fakery. In a world where, if you've got the right profile, you use your fucking AI, you go in front of a Ferrari and you've got a husky with you, whatever the fuck we've got to do these days. I've got a team of armed security around me to show that I'm a protector. I've got a Ferrari in the background to show that I'm wealthy. I'm taking care of a husky, and then I've got a hot girl looking out of the window down, like reaching out to me or something like that. This is like the uber psychometrically fucking neuromaxed photo that we've got to put on our fucking Instagram and fucking all these profiles, right? We can do all of that absolutely fucking stupid bullshit. It's all fake. It's all fucking retarded. Yeah, or we can go on Tinder and if you've got a fortunate profile that's doing well, you don't have to do anything. You just pull in all these. Like my friend who pulls all the Asian girls. He's good looking. He just pulls Asian girls left, right, and center. None of it's fucking real. It's not actually real. Yeah, you've not expended anything. It's fiat currency. It's fiat fucking currency. It's fake. Yeah, cold approach is hard fucking currency. It's Bitcoin. Yeah, cannot be corrupted. It's incorruptible. You go over, Tarzan see Jane, Tarzan talk Jane. Whether that's in the street or whether it's in a social context, both are good. It's incorruptible. It's the real fucking shit. It's the real shit. Yeah, and it makes it real, and it actually makes you value relationships more. You think, oh, I'm just going to become a massive playboy. Not with cold approach, man. You're covering too many kilometers on your sessions. You go out, you cover like 7 or 8 kilometers. You got a few numbers. You've actually had to work for those numbers. You've gone into the interactions, energetic output. Go into the interaction, chat to the girls, walk around, go to the next one. Oh shit, I'm afraid. Fuck. My wingman's pushed me in, thank you. Go in again. Yeah, it makes it real. It makes it fucking real. You hunted the fucking deer, yeah? You threw the fucking spear, you missed. You picked the spear up again, you chased it down again. Hunted it. You hit the fucking deer. You went after it, wrestled it to the fucking ground. It's real. It's real. You didn't just fucking pick it off a shelf, swipe a card and go and stuff it down your goblet. Yeah? It makes it real. It's real fucking hunting. And it makes you actually value the girls more. There's more of a story, there's more of an energy expenditure. Yeah? If you did like looks maxing, uber like maxed everything on social media, and you had fucking neuro maxed profile photos and everything like that. Yeah, maybe you could do better. I don't really know. It's not my forte. Maybe you could. It's not real though, is it? I found personally the girls I met from Tinder, great girls, actually, the ones I did meet, but there was always that doubt in me at the time. Could I have got them in person? It plagued me actually, because it's not that I doubted myself, but I just thought, I know this girl has been pulled by guys she's met in person. Could I do that? And if not, am I the right guy for her? Is she the right girl for me? So yeah, it makes it real, man. It makes it fucking real. And so I think it makes you appreciate relationships. There's lots of things that I've learned from daytime approach. It is not the be all and end all. It's simply a great way to develop yourself. I'm not obsessed with it at all. This channel is dedicated to it because it's a dating and relationships channel. But I equally much more obsessed actually with some other things, um, hobbies and so on and so forth, and work and languages and literature and so on. So there's lots of other things I'm interested in. This has just been a great tool of development, and it's been a great way to bring women into my life, been a great way to meet some really good women. Um, and I still think it's in its early days in terms of development. And I think the next phase is going to be when we start to do some really exciting stuff, where we start to combine our street gangster skills with starting to move in higher circles to actually bring to start to create like a kind of vortex of really good quality, fun, vibrant social circles as well. When we all start to see how that's going to work, how effective that's going to be, that's when stuff's going to get really crazy. And it's also that social stuff there, building up these international social circles all over the world, having like a network of guys. We've got one guy in Stockholm, we've got another guy in Santo Domingo, we've got a guy in Miami, we've got a guy in Serbia, we've got a guy in places XYZ, London, New York, etc. We've got shit to do all over the world. That's when stuff's really going to get interesting as time goes on. We bring the girlfriends in. It's not all about hunting all the time. We can literally go and hunt. We can literally go and hunt deer or whatever. We don't always have to be hunting the girls, but for the time being, that's what we're doing. But that's the next evolution, is to start to bring some social circle stuff in. But yeah, I would say get into the streets first. Get into the streets first, and then get into the social circle, or in tandem to that anyway, if you want to really take it to the moon. So this is Wing Bro. Hope you've enjoyed the live. Any questions here? Yep. If there's anyone still on, Charlie. Yeah, I kind of answered those, mate. As I say, I'm more asking me about my personal life, bro. It's not, you can watch my entire channels. There's over 300 videos on this channel about my personal life. I'm not trying to dismiss you, mate, if you are seriously thinking about, self-improvement, but it's more your own personal life that I'm interested in. Yeah, if you want to discuss that, get on a call. If there are other guys watching this channel and you want to know what it's about daytime cold approach. I teach men the noble art of daytime cold approach. I teach you in highly intelligent men, accomplished men, artistic men. I teach you how to transfer all of that masculine energy. By the way, masculinity is mostly in your mind as well, by the way. Obviously, it's in the physical body. The most masculine thing we have is our mind, which is obviously completely different to a woman's mind. I teach you how to deliver all of that in the day, the noble art of the daytime approach. Go over to the girl, stop her, pay her a compliment, have a nice conversation with her, have a provocative, raunchy conversation, have an interesting conversation, whatever it is that we end up doing. Set up the date, take her on the date or take her on the instant date. I'll show you how to do all of this. So you can explode your options from just swipe, swipe, swipe on Tinder, getting nowhere. You're 35 years old, you're 5'8", it's not happening for you, my friend, to, getting yourself out there and you realize, oh, I'm 35-year-old, 5'8", and I can pull a 5'10", 20-year-old. Shit, I didn't realize I could do that. Yeah, I actually can. Yeah, my client did it last weekend, yeah. Or on this race or that race, and I can pull a white girl, or I can pull an Asian girl, or whatever. I'm bald. Oh shit, I can actually still pull. Oh, I've got this issue, I've got that issue. I'm boz-eyed. Yeah, I can still pull. I can still do it all. Yeah. This is what you learn with my programs. It's an amazing way to develop. Things are going fantastically well. Guys are just getting great results with this. Getting great results with it, and we're building brotherhood up as well. And this is just the start. So if you're interested in learning, you want to sort out your personal life, you're basically sick of the bullshit. You're looking at the next year and going, I can't fucking do this anymore. It's September coming soon. Autumn is coming. Can I do another fucking year waiting around for someone to swipe on my profile on Tinder. Can I do this? Am I happy with what has been going on in my personal life over the last 12 months? And if the answer is no, what's our solution? Cold approach is an amazing solution, and it is a solution in of itself. And what it can lead on to is a complete transformation. But in of itself, if you do nothing else, this will solve. You will be able to get women into your life if you're a reasonable guy. If you're a reasonable guy. Even guys with some significant disadvantages have used it to get good women into their life. But the guys I'm interested in pulling in are cool guys who just know they could do better. Smart, cool guys who do have some experience, but they get the picture that the modern world is not really helping them, and they're underperforming. These are the guys that can come in, and these are the guys I'm most interested in. It's like restoring that balance, restoring nature, helping them to take their rightful place on the hierarchy, which should be high up, getting the premium girls. They should be able to do it. And daytime cold approach is an amazing way to get yourself across that, to deliver yourself to these women, to bridge that gap and develop an amazing personal life. Yeah, and as I say, it's my channel's in its early stages, so you can see the video from today. You can see me in approaches. You can hear me breaking them down. You will be seeing some client infield at some point, but a lot of the guys I work with are professional guys. Lawyers, software engineers, creatives, artists, all sorts of people, right? They don't particularly want to have their infields plastered on the internet on my channel, so that's why it's not that easy at the moment, but I will be getting some over time. But this shit works, man. This shit works. It just fucking works, right? And you can see, as I say, you can see me going on instant dates. You can see me closing girls in the street. It's all there, right? And it's still in its infancy. So my advice would be to book a call now, while it still is in its infancy, man, because the brotherhood is going to be it's going to be going up like a fucking rocket ship in the next few years. And but yeah, forget about that. It's really about your problem, your issue. If you have not solved your issue, women are still the bane of your fucking life. You don't know what to do. If you're looking for wifey and you don't want to meet her online, especially guys who are looking for wives, especially guys with remote lifestyles, I've lived in in the last 3 years alone, I think I've lived in about 12, 15 different countries. I've lived in about 20 countries, right? I can break down whatever your preference is. I can break down a territory for you. And even if you've got an obscure one, I've probably got the connection to give you the breakdown, okay? And in some places, there's some guys I know immediately. I'm like, yep, let's go here with this guy. I can take him this guy here. All right? I've lived an international lifestyle for a very long time, the best part of 20 years. So I can help you there as well. So intelligent, remote guys who are currently underperforming, guys who are actually at the business end, you want to find wife, you want to find the girlfriend, you want to find the long-term partner, the mother of your children. We need to get this right. We need to find you the right person. Get on a call, calmleague.com/wingbro. Lads, I'll see you again shortly. We're coming up to 2 hours. I've really enjoyed that live. That's the stuff I've learned in the last 2 years of daytime cold approach. Hopefully this has been useful to you. Peace, love. This is Josefsky. La noche. Buenas noches.